What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. Yo, I got a quick video for you guys today. I realized that PlayStation's in trouble. I can't even say PlayStation. And the way that I realized that PlayStation is in trouble, there's a few things, but the main reason is I realized that the PlayStation fans only have one way of defending PlayStation right now. They only have one thing to go to that's pro. Listen to this, that's pro PlayStation. And that's console sales. The only thing they could talk about and brag about right now is console sales. They're dying for Spider-Man to come out because they haven't played anything significant on that platform in like the last 11 months. So console sales is the only thing they're using. Now, today I've had a very interesting day. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts. I've been listening to Reforge Gaming. Shout out to you, my dude. I've been listening to Blaze 4K. I saw his podcast. Marlin Gaming Nation. Marlin Gaming Nation. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Marlin. Shout out to you, my dude. And then I was able to catch a little bit of Gaming Addicts podcast. Dirt was on there today. Shout out to you two brothers. And Forte was on there as well. Shout out to you. And then I also caught Xbox International, right? De lo mío, papi, de lo mío. Anyways, listen. The theme, there's a common theme going around with PlayStation. And it depends on how you see a different perspective. Actually, Lono called this out. Either PlayStation is too cocky or PlayStation is in trouble. Regardless of which side you fall under, I think we can all agree that these moves that PlayStation is making look a little bit iffy. To me, they look desperate. To me, it looks like they know what's about to happen. They see the future that their own fans don't see, but that Xbox saw before them, and that's why they're adjusting and pivoting. That's why this generation, every single thing that the ponies put on a pedestal as to what PlayStation meant got dismantled. They don't talk about exclusives anymore because they know they would look dumb if they mentioned about PlayStation having exclusives. PlayStation doesn't have exclusives. They have timed exclusives because everything is going to PC. And they killed that narrative themselves when they said you don't need an Xbox, you could just get a PC. I'm going to tell you the same thing. You don't need a PlayStation. Just get yourself a PC, right? Unless you're really that dying to play a game when it drops, as soon as it drops, and playing the inferior version of that game. It is what it is. The game's going to be better on PC. It is what it is. The only anomaly I think you guys is The Last of Us, and that's the developer's fault. But I think we all agree that PCs play games better. That's the argument that you guys made against Xbox, right? So that narrative was done, was destroyed, okay? The subscription service, right? Xbox subscription service is trash, this isn't that, whatever. Sony went ahead and remodeled their own subscription service. So Sony wants you to be part of their subscription service. So now they can't talk about subscription services either. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Pointless hardware. They like to talk about the Series S and pointless hardware and all this other stuff. Well, you can argue that PlayStation has two pointless hardware. The PSVR and the PS Portal right now. And then the only thing that they stand on is sales. That's it. Almost as if they own Sony themselves. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And that's when you know there's a problem. When you have players that no longer can defend their gaming company as players. They got to defend their gaming companies as business executives. I'm telling you, check what I'm telling you. Check what I'm telling you. And they can't help it. That's just the way they do it. Again, my man Blaze 4K, I was on his podcast and we're talking or whatever, and we started talking about Lies of P, which apparently as of right now is his game of the year. Lives of P is on Game Pass. So I'm listening to him telling me that it's his game of the year or whatever, right? I'm going to have access to that game. He told me more people are probably playing that on PS5. Sure, that's fine. He asked me why. Why is that then? You guys aren't playing games on. It's like, no, it's not that we don't have games on Xbox. It's that we have so many games that I don't have to play Lives of P right now. I'm still playing Starfield. I went ahead and downloaded Forza. I don't even like racing games, but just because I can and I want to try it. Then in that same podcast, somebody mentioned, he asked me, do I think Outer World is better than Starfield? I don't know. I've never played it. I asked, is it on Game Pass? Yes, it is. Yo, that's just more value for me as a gamer. I don't care how Microsoft is making money off of this. If it's sustainable, it's not sustainable. But I'm telling you right now, Sony losing Call of Duty is not sustainable. We know this. You can speculate whether or not Game Pass is sustainable, profitable, or whatever. Sony losing Call of Duty is not sustainable. And if you're that naive to believe that Sony is going to be making the same amount of money that they were off of Call of Duty, then you are a fool. You know that deal does not look the same. You know that split does not look the same. But this is the problem. Why do we even care? We need to care about Sony as a gaming company. And Sony dropping a AAA banger game every 11 months is not enough. What was the last AAA banger Sony dropped? That came from Sony. What was it? Was it God of War? Was it God of War? That's the last one. What's the last one? And now, guys, they were so desperate that PlayStation fans were taking Baldur's Gate 3 as if it was there. And now Starfield came out. I don't see them talking about Baldur's Gate 3. I don't. What they do is they talk anti-Xbox. And it's only hurting PlayStation. It's not helping anybody else. It's only hurting PlayStation. The Metacritic reviews, okay, of Starfield have not affected its players' engagement. I'm telling you right now, you play Starfield yourself. You either like it or you don't. And that's it. No one is actually looking at this Metacritic review. If anything, Starfield proved that Metacritic reviews mean nothing. But it means something to the PlayStation gamer, again, because they need their purchases validated. And not only that, but I get it. They don't have the same access to games that we have, so they got to spend their hard-earned money on a game, so they want to see if a game is good or not. That's why I am anti-review bombing Spider-Man. I know some people are like, they review bombed Starfield. Don't do it to Spider-Man because they need this. They need to see if Spider-Man is good so they can actually spend that money. They actually need this, and Sony needs them to spend that money. Sony is hurting right now. You only are hurting if you're going to sell a stand for $30. Come on now, man. That's the way I see it. You can call it cocky all you want. But I believe they're hurting. I believe they know that the gravy train is about to end and Microsoft is taking over everything. And they're terrified. As a gamer, I don't know if that's good or bad. I can be honest with you. I don't know if that's good or bad in the long run. All I know is that right now, my man Blaze 4K mentioned Liza P. I could play it. They mentioned Outer Worlds. I could play it. They mentioned No Man's Sky. I actually downloaded it and played it already. It's not better than Starfield. You lied to me. Just because you can fly in and out of planets, get out of here. No Man's Sky is nowhere near the caliber of Starfield. Stop. Just lies. It's a good game. I'll give it to you. It's a good game. I could see someone getting lost in No Man's Sky, but you're not gonna compare that to. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's disrespectful comparing that game to Starfield. Don't do that. But it's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass. The only argument is game sales. And shout out to Dirk Griggity. He called that out in Gaming Addicts podcast. He was talking about something, spitting facts, and somebody in the chat went straight to the console sales. That's all y'all got. You don't see that as a problem when the only thing you could talk about is console sales? And then here's the problem. Well, the only thing you could talk about is Game Pass. But Game Pass has games, dummy. There's a difference. You don't benefit by how many console sales Sony does. You don't. You don't at all. I don't benefit by how many Game Pass subscribers Microsoft has. That's why you don't see an Xbox channel talking about Game Pass subscribers. We're talking about what's coming to Game Pass, what's in Game Pass, games that we can actually play, tangible video games. Why do you not see that? You need to go out there, stop talking about Xbox and save the PlayStation brand. I see people comparing Gran Turismo 7 now to Forza. Bro, I have not seen an Xbox channel talk about the power narrative ever since it was disproven a while ago. That's the difference. Yo, we took the L. We're done. We move on. Y'all bringing up this power narrative. Gran Turismo 7 looks better than Forza. Cool beans. You playing Gran Turismo 7? You pay $70 for that game? You playing it? We didn't pay $70 for Forza. Bro, yeah, Sony right now is in trouble. And this is all I'm going to say. I'm going to put it out to all my Xbox brothers and sisters out there. It might be up to us to save Sony. I know we act like we don't like PlayStation and we hate PlayStation and all this other stuff. We don't. Most of us own a PlayStation. I say it all the time. Xbox fan actually buys PlayStation for their exclusives. We actually do what the ponies say that they do, which is crazy because the ponies will have a PlayStation 5, but if you look at what they play the most, it's not exclusive games. So they be capping hard talking about I bought a PlayStation 5 for its exclusive. No, you didn't, because that's not what you play the most. And I can't blame you because those games are about 20, 25 hours tops. You got to get satisfaction from that game by collecting the trophies in that game. That's what makes you feel good, is to have the trophies of that game. That's wild. There's no way I know you enjoyed all the activities to get those trophies. You just enjoyed having the trophy, which is a psychological problem. You don't even understand that. These trophies really don't mean anything, dog. They really don't mean anything. I digress. Sony needs next year and the year after that and the year after that, they need to stick to what they do best, which is make great games. But they got to make great games more often. That's what they have to do. They're taking a gamble with this live service games, and I hope y'all support that as much as y'all support looking up business charts and Steam charts and all that stuff. And that's another thing with you Sony ponies. Y'all talk so much trash about the PC fan base, talking about don't bring PC into console wars, whatever. But the only numbers y'all use is Steam numbers. So like that, y'all contradict yourself. Look, Sony's in trouble. That's just the way I see it, man. I don't see any other way for you to fight that. Spider-Man is gonna look phenomenal, is gonna run phenomenal, and I hope it's a lot of fun. I really do. And Insomniac has been carrying Sony on their back this entire generation. You know, these are facts. They have. The next big title y'all gonna get is what? The Last of Us 2 remastered? Well, that's disrespectful. Sony's running out of ideas. Remastering a game is probably cheaper than making a whole new game, so they're gonna go ahead and resell you that. They didn't even make a PlayStation Slim, a PlayStation 5 Slim. They literally just remastered the PlayStation, and I'm gonna sell you that again for a higher price. The same thing they do with their games. This is wild. This is wild, and the only thing y'all got to defend is console sales. How does that benefit you as a gamer? That Sony's consoles? Explain that to me. It doesn't benefit you. If you're about games, the console sales don't benefit you. It should be the software sales, right? If anything, I want that game again. But even then, did The Last of Us Part 1 not sell well? Did The Last of Us Part 2 not sell well enough for them to make a sequel instead of making a remaster? If these games sold so well on your platform, why are they coming to PC? Because they see the writing on the wall, and Xbox is right. I'll tell you what, I believe Xbox got lucky that Google didn't know exactly how to market their Stadia idea, and their business plan wasn't that smart. That's what I think. Because xCloud to me is still trash, and I can say it without having a problem. xCloud to me is trash. But it is probably one of the largest cloud services out there, and you automatically have access to it if you got Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, Microsoft is just throwing money at the problem, and it's working right now. That's got to be terrifying for a company like Sony. And for you to sit there, and the best thing you could do is tweet about headlamps from Gran Turismo 7 versus Forza, when us Xbox gamers, we really don't care, dog. Because we could uninstall Forza and play Lies of P while you got to pay $70 to play it. You dummy. That's crazy to me. You don't see the problem. But you'll see it when Sony ceases to exist. Doc Dog 1985. There's levels to this. We out. Peace.